Hey guys, it's Ro and welcome to this video. So I just have a cute little project to share with you guys. It's shaker boxes, and as you can see, we've got these little shaker bits in there, and then you can also see through to the ephemera that I'm storing in here as well. So these are just really cute. You can use them for Happy Mail. Of course, you can use them as like party favor boxes, gift boxes, really whatever you want to do with them. I wanted to store some ephemera, so I just think it's so cool because you could see them behind the little shaker bits, like one of the sentiments that's in there. So let me just give you an idea of what you can fit in here. So like I have all this ephemera in here, and so they're pretty good size. Like they fit a lot of stuff, so you can definitely pack these little ones up. So I am going to show you how to make it with just the window. Maybe you don't want to use any shakers without the window. And we have a short version, and then we also have one that's a little taller. So it's a little slimmer here, but it's also a little taller. So we have two different sizes, and with the window, without the window. So here's the ones that I did that I didn't put any shakers or anything like that. Maybe you just want to keep it a little bit more simple and not have any of that, and so you can do that. Although I have to say the shaker is really easy. I'm going to show you how easy it is right now. And then this is the shorter version. And just really cute and fun and easy project. So let me just go ahead and break out my scoreboard and we will get started. So we just need a sheet of paper, whatever it is that you want to use. And all of our measurements are going to pretty much be less than 6. So I don't see why you can't use your 6x6 or 6x8 paper pads or scraps, really, whatever you want to use. So let me grab a couple sheets here. I have a vellum nearby. All right, so let me take off the branding strip. And this one I'm just using, I think it's called Springtime by Recollections. This specific pad. I used a bunch of different ones in this one. Like this is from this same paper pad, the Springtime one. This is Let Your Creativity Bloom. So that's the paper and ephemera I used for this one. This one is Tiny Miracles. So that's what this one is called. And then this one is Round Trip. And I stored the Round Trip ephemera in here as well. So just in case you're wondering about that. All right, so our first sheet is going to be 5.5 by 5. Make sure you can see 5.5. Then we're going to turn it around to 5. All right, and then we're going to do a little bit of scoring. So we are going to make sure that for this specific shape, we're making the shorter version first. So for this one, it's important that we start the scoring at 5.5. Okay, so that's important. Otherwise, you're going to get the other shape, which is how that one came about. It was really more accidental than anything. So here we are at 5.5, and now we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch 3 times around. So 1, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then we're going to go again here and 1 inch. Okay, so it's 1/2 inch and 1 inch 3 times around. And let me just make sure, yeah, this is the right one. Okay, so then we're just going to do a little bit of cutting. Where are my scissors? Oh Lord, I must have just cut them up. Oh, here they are. Okay, must have put them somewhere. I knew they had to be nearby. Okay, so we are going to cut out the 3 little boxes that are on the outer corner. So on each side here, you have 4 little boxes, and we're going to cut out, let me try to get this where you could see it. This one, and this one. So we're just gonna leave this little box here. So if you wanna watch me do it first, just in case you can't see my score lines, and I will show you how to do it. So we're getting rid of those. We're getting rid of this one on the outside. So when you're done, it's going to, we want this flap to go back and forth, and that's all you'll have left, okay? And we'll do the same thing to this side. Cut out the 3 small little squares that are like in an L shape on the outer edge. And then see this one, we want it to have the flap, or to turn into a flap, so we do that there. And now we have them that are like this. Okay, and so now we can go ahead and burnish. I want to burnish really good with these, even though I'm going to be moving a little quicker so that I don't take forever and showing you how to make these. But, you know, just to maintain the structure and integrity of the box, we just want to make sure that our scoring and our burnishing is rather precise. All right, so now when we get to this stage, we're going to fold these little flaps in, and we're going to come in like this. And then we're going to fold this one in. So what we're going to do is just make sure the flap is on the inside. Trying to make sure you could see. And this flap over here ends up on the outside of the box. So as you can see, our little flaps there. And so we're going to do the same thing over here. The flap part is going to go in, and this part is going to come to the outside. And there we go. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and glue our two little corners here. So let's grab our glue and let's start gluing. So I'm just going to glue in this little corner area right here and put that on, and then we just want to make sure that everything's lined up, you know, our little corner here. Okay, and then we'll do this side. And I'm going to put that flap on the inside, this flap on the outside, and then we're just going to maybe stick your finger in there. That helps to kind of push it in. Okay, and now it's like this. So when we get to this step, now we can work on our little shaker element. So let's go ahead and grab a piece of vellum or tissue paper, or maybe you want to use acetate, or really whatever you want for the window. If you want a window, if you do not want a window and you want it to be more like this, then just skip this specific step, and I'll show you right after what you can do when we get to the lid part. All right, so I'm going to grab my vellum, and so we want a sheet that is, let's see, 3 3/8 by 4. And if we only want a window, we just need one sheet. That are those measurements. If we want a window plus the shaker, of course, then we're going to need 2 of these sheets. So let's do 2 of them because we're going to do this shaker together. So that's 3 3/8. So, and the 3/8 mark is right in between the 3 1/4 and the 3 1/2 mark. So 3 3/8, and then we're going to turn it over and we're going to go to 4. And since we want 2 of these, and mine's already at 3 3/8, I'm just going to bring it over here to 4, and we'll have 2 sheets that are the same size. All right. And now that we have these 2 pieces, we can work on our little shaker. So we're just going to stick a couple little bits inside the middle here, and then we'll be able to glue around it. So let me grab some little shaker pieces. And let's see here. I think I'll just put these in there. I'm just going to kind of grab whatever so I can show you. All right, so we're going to put them right in the middle. We're going to take this one and then just go ahead and we're going to put glue all the way around. So 1 bead of glue around the edge on all 4 sides. Okay, I'll put that down. And then we're just going to put this right on top of the other. Right on top of it. And see, now you see why my scoring sometimes gets messed up, because here I am gluing right on top of my scoreboard. So I definitely need to stop doing that. All right. So now that this part is done, all we need to do, and we want to be careful from shaking around too much, because until our glue dries, we don't want our little shaker pieces getting trapped inside the glue, right? So we'll just be a little careful right here. Now we're going to take our box that we have ready. We're going to stick glue just here, here, and here. We're not going to put glue on top just yet. So only here, here, and here. So down here, down here. We'll turn it around. And we'll put glue there. And so what I do here is I basically slide it in here, but I slide it towards the bottom so that none of the glue gets in yet. I wait till it's inside, and then I turn it like this and kind of let it drop down. And then I can go ahead and use my tool here and press it down. Okay, so that's pretty much how I do it. And we're going to go down here in these 2 corners. So I'm putting my tool down there and just kind of going all the way around so that we can let that glue stick. And once you feel like you have it, you can go ahead and turn it around. Now I have some slight overage here, so I'm going to cut that off. Cut this little piece off right here. A few of them I did, a few of them I didn't. I think it just depends on how you cut it. And you can drop it off by like 1/8 if you want, if you don't want to have to cut that overage off. So I'm just going to take this little piece off here. Okay, and now we can do our lid. Now let's just say that we do not want this window. We want it to be something like this or like this, no window. Then you would skip this whole vellum step that we just did. So when you get here to where you have this frame, this is all you do, and it's the same if we have the window. So let's go ahead and make our lid. And that is, let's see, it is 3.5 by 6. So that's the sheet that we want next. And this is also cute too. If you want to, you know, switch up the pattern, this is a good time to do it for the lid if you wanted to. All right, so 3.5 by 6. 3.5. Well, let me go to 6 first to make sure that I have enough paper here. So 6 by 3.5. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and score it on the 6-inch side. We're going to score it at 1.5 and 2. Move this out my way. Okay, so 1.5 and 2. And we'll go ahead and burnish that. And then we're going to go ahead and round our corners if you want to. This would be a good time to do it. Just for the lid. Just for this little piece, not this piece. Okay, now, if we do not want that window here, this is where we would put our flap right over this frame. Like this, we would glue it like this. And then when we turn it around, voila, we have our cute little box. But since we are doing the window with the shakers, we're gonna go ahead and put the flap in the back here, okay? And it's gonna come over like that instead. And you can, you know, shorten the lid if you want to, if it's too long for you. I kind of liked that length, but it's just really up to you. Once you get here, you know, the sky's the limit. You can play around with it and do whatever you want and make it your own. So yeah, and we're just gonna go ahead and glue the back part. So we're just gonna glue here. We're not gonna glue this little 1/2 inch panel, and we're not gonna glue the lid, of course. We're just gonna glue right in here really good. With the focus of a good amount of glue like right here, right before that score line, because that's gonna keep it all intact and make it look a little bit better. Now that we have glue there, we can go ahead and stick it on the back. Here we go. And I just kind of touch it and massage it a little bit. And here we go. We are all done. Look at that. So that's the cute little short version with the shaker elements. And so no matter which one you're doing, even if you're doing it like this, or let's say like this one, the process is exactly the same, except for a couple little tweaks that I'm going to show you right now. But as far as how to do the shaker and stuff, it's pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and do this size. Do this size with the shaker. All right, so for this one, we want it to be 5.5 by 5. So the same sheet as before, starting out. And this might be, let's see what this one is. No, it's not. Okay, so 5.5 by 5. Okay, now to make this version, the taller one, it's important that we start the scoring right here on the 5-inch side. Okay, so remember the other one, we had it at 5.5, but for this one, we need to start it here at 5. So, and then our score marks are going to be exactly the same as before. We're going to do 1/2 inch and 1 inch, turn it, 1/2 inch and 1 inch, turn it one more time, because we're going to go 3 times around just like a pocket, 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And now we have the taller version. So interesting how just one little difference like that can like change the whole project. So I thought that was interesting. So, all right, let's go ahead and we're going to kind of the same 3 little squares as before. So these two we're cutting out. And then we're going to cut out this little bottom one while making a flap for this one. So we're left with our little flap here like before. We're going to do the same thing to this side. So I'm going to cut out all 3 of these little squares. And like that. And then we have our 2 little flaps here. And now we can go ahead and burnish. I'm going to bring these in. And burnish. And so like if you're not making the window or the shaker element, these are so fast to mass produce and make, which is really cool. And I mean, it doesn't take too much longer with the shaker. I try to make it as easy as possible because if I can take a lazy route, I normally do. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fold this in just like we did before and start gluing the bottom. And it's probably should note this now. You can angle cut these at the bottom if you'd like. So you can definitely, like I'll show you the difference here. Of course, if you don't have any window, you can't tell. It's just different with that. So that doesn't apply. But if you are doing, see how this one's angle cut at the bottom? And this one isn't. So it's not much of a difference, but it is a little bit cuter with the angle cut. But that's up to you. So if you did want to do the angle cut, we'll go ahead and do that. We're just going to cut just like that. And it's just going to take us a tad bit longer to glue. A little bit more finagling on that end, but it does look a little bit cuter. So why not? Might as well do it with you so I can show you. So now we have our little angle cuts. So just got to be a little bit more precise with our glue and really put the glue right here on the corner and hold it down a little bit longer because we don't have as much of an area to glue, if that makes sense, when we angle cut it. So I generally will stick my finger in like this and make sure that it's all lined up and everything before moving on to the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put a good amount of glue right there in that corner and go like this. Make sure it's lined up. I'm going to hold it in. There we go. All right, and now we have it like that. Okay, and now we are ready to do our window, or not. So if you're not going to do the window, you would move right to the back flap. But we're going to do the window together just so I can show you and give you the measurements of the vellum for this size. So our window for this one is 2 7/8 by 8 3/4. So let's get another sheet of vellum or whatever you want to use. So let's see, 8 3/4. And 2 by 7/8. So that's the mark right in between the 2 3/4 and the 3. So the last little mark before the 3-inch mark. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and fold this in half, straight down the middle. And this one is going to be a little bit easier because we already have this part done. So let's just glue this side, and then we can add our little shaker bits for this one. This side and this side. And remember, we're not going to see our glue, so we don't have to worry about that right now. And just make sure that that's, see, this is why my score lines are getting all messed up, because I keep gluing on my board. But that's all right. I'll eventually get around to cleaning it. All right, so now it's kind of like we have a pocket, and with this, we can definitely make this into another cute little project that we stick inside of our box. So, you know, to do that, we would put some shaker bits in it and put like a cute little top up here. You can definitely do that, and you'll have another little project to go inside. All right, so I'm just trying to open up my envelope here so I can put some stuff in it. I think I'm gonna put beads in this one, those little mini beads. So let's see, I'm gonna keep this open, and I'm gonna grab my black beads here. Just curious what they look like on, since this is just more of like a prototype to show you guys. Might as well see what these guys look like. Ooh, that's fun. And put the lid back on my little beads. All right, and now we have our little bits, whatever you want to use. Oh, you can see them pretty well. That's kind of cool. All right, and so now we can just put some glue up top and seal it up. So I'm just going to hold it like that and stick some glue right in here at the top, as close to the top as possible. Go all the way across. Okay, and now, here, let me do this so that I don't glue my board anymore. And now we'll just make sure that's, you know, nice and flat. All right, so we don't want it to start wrinkling on us. All right, let's not start moving our little shaker bits around just yet. We want to let that glue dry. So meanwhile, let's go ahead and grab our box, and then we can go ahead and slide it back in just like I showed you before. Of course, after we put the glue in. I have a little bit, no, I don't have overage on this one. Okay, I thought I did. This is actually, these measurements, I cut it better than the last vellum piece that we did. All right, so let's just say that you want to make one of these now that you know the measurements and everything, to have a cute little, another little project to stick inside your box. So then all you would do, just gonna have some little crafty fun intermission really quick. Let's see if I even have a sheet nearby. Let's see, it's 3 across, I think. So 3 by about 2, right? And this is just me playing around off the cuff to just some ideas if we want to put something fun in our box. I would score it at 1 inch, so it's 3 by 2, score down the middle at 1. I would fold this over, let's just say, and round the corners. And then we have a cute little shaker bag that we can stick, right, inside of our pocket when it's finished. Let's see, I have one here that I did that looks just like this. So see, that'd be cute. And you could put a little embellishment there, a little bow, and you can also use washi tape or like a thin strip and just go all the way around or something. So just an extra idea. I know I kind of went off there, but I couldn't help it. Once the thought hit, I was like, you know what? Let's play around with it. All right, so back to business. Back to our little box here. So now we're just gonna put glue on these 3 sides right here, not on the top just yet. So boom, boom, and right here. So there we go. We're going to carefully put this in, slide it on down, and I'm going to turn it around like this, drop it, and then I can go ahead and use my little tool. All right, there we go. There we go. And now, oh, how cute, our little shaker box. Okay, so now what we want to do is put our little security strip across the top. And you know what? I forgot to give you the measurements for this one. We didn't put it there, so I will give you that one right after. So let's put our little thing, because we do want that strip up there. It just holds the structure of it much better, and of course it hides our glue on the vellum. So our little security strip is what I call it. It's 3 by 1/2 inch. So let's go ahead and do that. Sorry, I didn't tell you that on the first one, but I will give you the measurements for that as well. So 3 by 1/2 inch. Okay, so we just have this little strip here, and we're just going to put this across the top. And this really does help to make the box itself, I keep wanting to say pocket, but to make the box, the structure of it, hold it intact really good. Okay, so we definitely want this strip. So I'm sorry I forgot about that earlier. I'm going to give that those measurements to you right now. So we're just going to put this right across the top, and of course you can angle cut it if you want. But you know, with the lid, you kind of really don't see it. It's just mainly for the structure. It does hold it together much better. Just make sure that's dried. And now we're almost done. So let's do the lid for this one. And for that, it is 3 by 6.5. And we're almost done, guys. And we have our little shaker boxes. So 6.5 by 3. And then on the 6.5 inch side, we are going to score at 1.5 and 2. We'll go ahead and burnish. Then we will angle cut our corners if we want to. Okay. And then remember, if we don't want this window here, we can just cover up this frame. Make sure I got that good down there where my little shaker bits are. I don't think I pressed it that well. Just do that real quick, okay? And so again, if we do not want this frame, we're gonna stick this right on top of it. And this is how our box will look. But since we are doing the frame with the shaker little bits, we are going to put it back here. So we'll go ahead and glue the same as last time, right around here. We do not put any glue on this 1/2 inch panel or any glue on the lid. So, but we do want to make sure we get some glue as close to that score line as possible, because it just helps to hold the pocket, the box, I keep wanting to say pocket, hold the box in place. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and stick this on here. And we wanna make sure when we're doing this part that we really, everything falls into place when we line up these two corners with this strip right here. And here I go again, I can't help myself. Okay, let's just say before we glue this on, you could have cut it in half and had a cute little pocket back here. You know, before you glued it, you could have cut it in half, and then you'd have this bottom part would be a little pocket, and then your flap. So just an idea, just throwing it out there. You know, I just cannot help myself. But that is another idea, and that would be cute as well. All right, so now when you get here, all you need to do is just, you know, choose a closure. Maybe you want to use a Velcro dot. Maybe you want to use one of these little foam dot things. I think that's what they're called. You might want to use that, or you might want to like put a little hole here and wrap some ribbon around it. So I'd probably put like my hole, like I'd eyeball it probably right in the middle. You can also use one of those closures that you use with your eyelids. Those are cute too. And so I'd probably put a hole right there and just string some ribbon around it or something and put a bow, or really however you want to decorate it and close it. But that's pretty much it. Now let me give you the security strip for this one, because I totally forgot about it. It's 3.5 by 1/2 inch. So let's do that real quick. 3.5 by 1/2 inch. And this one would just go right here. And this is for our shorter, little wider pocket. I'm sorry, box. I cannot. If I say pocket one more time, guys. All right, let's go ahead and put our glue on. And we are about done. So fun. And you can angle cut, of course, if you want. You would just kind of cut here and here or something like that. And just make sure that it's on there really good. And voila, now I can put my closure, and I have my two cute little matching boxes, kind of like a little set that you can put so many fun things inside of here. So that is it, guys. That wraps up today's video. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will check you guys out inside of our next tutorial. So bye for now, and happy crafting, everyone.